Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Schooling Around. Today's episode is all about being outdoors. So first we head over to Echo Grove Camp and Retreat Center, and then we head to Addison Oaks County Fair. So don't go anywhere. Schooling Around starts right now.
Catch us anytime on YouTube. Go to Oxford Community Television YouTube.
As promised, we head over to Echo Grove Camp and Retreat Center to see what all they have to offer throughout the summer and well after. Take a look. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Schooling Around. Today I am here with Matthew. Matthew, can you tell us about your camp here?
It is a 200-acre, 50-building, 455-bed camp and retreat center out here, and we have been here since 1921. The Army has, and Salvation Army has, and we have been growing ever since, and modernizing and growing and trying to stay relevant.
Right, and I actually didn't know when I looked you all up online that it was a part of the Salvation Army. So tell us how that came about.
Well, the Salvation Army is an international organization, movement. We're in about 130 countries right now, and we're right now in the Central Territory. The United States is made up of 4 territories. It's because the South, the West,
North.
Well, there's a Eastern, a Southern, a Central, and a Western, and we're right in the Central. So
okay.
The Eastern Michigan is a division within the Central Territory, which is 11 Midwestern states. And each division has a camp like this. So this is Eastern Michigan's camp.
So students or campers, rather, from anywhere can come here, or where do you draw the line?
Most of them are part of one of the core, or our churches are called core, or units like service centers, things like that. They would register for camp through those service centers, either through social service agencies or just a core community kid, a church kid that would come through, and they would register with each church or each core, and they would come as part of that core group. And we might have about 130 or 40 campers in a session, maybe 150. Some of them get as large as 200 for Salvation Army camps. Many are a little bit smaller than that.
Okay. And a big question, especially for me, is do the students or the campers, I keep calling them students, do they get to stay on the grounds and sleep overnight? This
is what's called the residential camp, where it's an overnight camp. So the camp duration ranges from a 1 or 2 day camp, a 1 day, which is no overnight for the youngest kids, but then we have 2, 3, 4, 5, up to a 10-day music camp. In fact, it's a 10-day camp. So they stay on here for 10 days with overnights and all that goes with that.
And it's an age limit or requirement for those overnight camps, correct?
It's limited. It's not, it's more parent legislated than it is. We typically are about 8 or 9 years old is typically the youngest kid. Most kids at 5 or 6 aren't prepared to be overnight by themselves. They're not ready for that. Yeah, but you know, some of the camps we do are pretty young. We have 7, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds.
Okay, so I'm hearing 6-year-olds all the way up to how old do these campers?
The oldest kids, like in teen camp or music camp, could get as old as 17.
Oh wow! So basically all the way through the school system.
Correct.
Just about. Okay. Now you said in groups there are different camps. Rather, how long are those camps? You said about a week, some 2 days.
They vary. They vary. It just depends. We have, for instance, we started this year with Senior VIP Camp, which is senior citizens and visually impaired. camp. They combine the two, where with the VIP camp, the visually impaired camp, we put all kinds of ropes for guide ropes all around camp so that the visually impaired can navigate their way around camp and still be a part of the camps, along with the seniors who are out here. And then the staff does a lot of serving and a lot of hands-on service with the seniors and the VIP, which is great. The campers, our guests love that, and our staff really likes that. It's a little easier than chasing 20 kids or 10 kids around.
I'm sure.
So they enjoy that week. But then once the kids start coming in the other camps, kids camp, teen camp,
Band camp.
Music camp is a huge camp for us. And then we have Guard and Ranger. With Girl Guard and Rangers is like the Cub Scouts or Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts kind of thing. The Salvation Army does character building programs within the Army, which are it's a Christian-based organization, so it's a faith-based, so it's all Christian, what's the word I'm searching for? Curriculum,
Right there,
sorry.
And then you can just start with Christian-based or
It's a faith-based curriculum, which then teaches them about Jesus Christ and introduces them to spiritual things that perhaps they don't see at home or get at home, or just introduces them to that in their life. And for some it's the first time, for some it's not. And hopefully they're getting that in some of the Bible studies that will teach them, and the counselors that they'll have little devotions or things in their cabins, and the way they're treated at camp, the way, hopefully those things are different than maybe they get at home, hopefully better in some cases, if they're coming from areas that aren't as good. So it's just an opportunity for us to minister to those kids in all age ranges. Some of them that you've heard of the disciplines already. So it could be music. We have a sports and STEM camp. We have music camp, kids camp, teen camps.
everything camp.
There's lots of variety. The Garden Ranger camps. It's just really fun.
Do all of those camps, including the senior citizen and the vision impaired camps, do they all do the same activities, or are they specified?
No, not completely. We offer all manner of activities. You see the waterfront behind us. You see there's high ropes up in the woods. There's a swimming pool that we use. We have hay rides we give. We have archery range with shooting and archery. We have hay rides that we do. There's obstacle courses in certain areas. It's for certain camps that are set up, and we have a variety of different things. But the seniors typically aren't as interested in the high ropes and the zip line as some of the kids are. But you'd be surprised. Some of our guests enjoy all of it anyway.
And they're allowed access to all of it if they choose to?
Yeah, it's usually set up by the camp leaders and which activities that they want, because they're setting up program schedules. We're just operating the camp part of it and staffing with licensed people to operate the different skilled activities, and then the camp program people come in and decide what they want to use for how long, and they program it.
Okay, so it sounds like you guys facilitate, and basically you're the managers of it all, and then other people come in and decide which activities or what kind of groups they would like to bring in?
That is how the Salvation Army runs their camping program in the summer, which is primarily June and July. Primarily there's 8 to 9 weeks of solid Salvation Army camps.
Okay.
Strictly that way, run by the Army with specific programs like we just discussed. Throughout the rest of the year, it's a little different.
Okay, why don't you explain that to us? I was just
For instance, what I just described for the last few minutes was June and July. That's how the Salvation Army runs their camps. Now for August, it gets into outside groups. We have more band camps like Addison or Flushing or Troy Athens. Those are groups that come out with hundreds of students to do band camps, and so they'll use all of our fields and all of our flat areas to do marching practice and rehearsals, and they'll bring 350 campers with them and a staff that helps them, their own volunteers and teachers and chaperones.
which is a little easier on you all.
Well, what happens is at the end of July, when the Salvation Army camp ends, I hire 50 people to help me run those 9 weeks.
Okay.
When July ends and August starts, most of them leave.
Right.
So a lot of those 50 kids go back to high school, that starts in a couple weeks, or they go back to college, which starts in a couple weeks. So I'm left with a skeleton crew. Probably 15 to 18 people remain on camp to then who was a counselor last week is now a dining room person, or their tasks changes depending on the need. So
Now for August specifically, and I'm guessing months after that, for people who just maybe want a wedding shower party or a birthday party, is that something that you guys offer?
we do schedule. We have Margaret who does our guest relations. She signs up most of our groups that come in, and she has the calendar, which is like our camp
schedule.
Right, everything goes through there, so we'll know who's here when, and she schedules out the facilities and the spaces that they need, whether it's meeting spaces or lodging facilities. We have different levels of that. So she organizes all that, but if they want to just rent a pavilion for the afternoon and then go on a boat ride or something, they can do that. It's an a la carte kind of thing when it gets down to that level. There's just a small fee for the pavilion use because somebody would have to set up a fire for them or clean it up when they're done, and same with the boating stuff. You have to have a lifeguard on duty or things of that sort. So we'll do what we can to offer what is available during that time, but they can come as long as we're open.
Now, safety, that's an excellent point about lifeguards. So obviously you have your staff members, your 50 plus employees here. Is it lifeguards on duty as the campers are here? What other safety precautions do you put in place?
Well, many of the for the summer, for the 8 weeks in the summer, for the heart of the summer, of those 50 people we hire, probably 11 of them are trained lifeguards and rotate on the waterfront.
Okay.
Now, when they all leave, I have a full-time staff year-round of exempt people that pretty much work here. Like, for instance, I'm a lifeguard, and I'm trained in some of the skill events, the high ropes, but a lot of my team, my activities director and some other folks and my maintenance guy, we're also trained to run those same activities, so that when we don't have all 50 of those bodies, we have to do it with a skeleton crew, and we're qualified to do those activities as well, so that we can offer that to a church retreat group that comes in with 100 people or things like that, small get-togethers or meetings. We can accommodate some of those activities, but most of the time they'll just come in and want to use a meeting space and have access to the water and barbecue.
The water is the main attraction.
Yeah, just God's creation. It's the nature, it's the setting. You see it. It's really, really nice. I'm really fortunate.
Very well kept.
Thank you. My office is fortunately right there. I overlook the lake. It could be worse, but it's great.
Now, in the winter, when the lake, for the most part, freezes, are you still open during those months?
We are. We are slower. That is our off season for sure. Yeah, that's definitely our off season. But we do have some groups that come out. They'll sled on the hill, and they'll use our shelter house and do a winter blast. So they'll snack, they'll eat in the dining room. My cook Jay will cook lunch for them, and they'll go in the shelter house. We have a fireplace in there, so they'll get a fireplace going inside. The kids will all go out and sled on the hill up behind us in the ball field, and the parents will just sit by the fireplace inside and play cards and chill out and just relax. That's one of the things that we offer. Yeah, it's just that flexibility of space. We have several different meeting spaces and uses that are available.
And it's safe to say that how we're sitting outside right now on the patio, these are areas that are enclosed, so they have, it's not subjected to the weather.
Right. We in the last couple of years we have improved the facilities quite a bit. This summer we just added air conditioning to a lot of our mid-level lodging accommodations. So now,
like this,
right? So when we had music camp in, which is really the first camp in, we have 110 staff people. They bring with them. Yeah. They all stay up in those lodges. They're hotel rooms with bathrooms and stuff in them. So, but now they have air conditioners. Before, people were trying to bring their own, stick them in a window, and that was less convenient because things would get damaged and whatever. So now it's just equipped with air conditioning. So we're excited about that, right? There's some other ones that aren't still. I know this Selden behind us does have air conditioning in it too. It was renovated last year. So slowly but surely we're upgrading our accommodations as time and money permits, and we're so grateful for the donors that we have throughout our history that give us the capability, provide the capability to upgrade things.
That's another point I wanted to talk about is funding. So it is Salvation Army base, so how do you go about getting funding for the camp?
Well, for the 9 weeks in June and July, all that is done by donations. Wow. So people that give money all year long. You've seen the red kettles, you've seen the thrift.
This is one thing.
You've seen the thrift stores, you've seen all that other revenue that those kinds of things generate. All goes into kind of part of the organizational pool, and camp is part of the funding. So we get some of that funding, and it helps pay for all those kids to come for free, and allows them to do that. Now the off season, it's different. Like the high schools that come, or the marching bands, or the cheerleading groups, those groups actually do pay, but there's a rate that they pay for their lodging, which includes a meal and a meeting space. So it all kind of is wrapped up into one, but it's kind of a break-even scenario because we're a nonprofit. So the amount of cost for me to clean and change just to maintain clean and prepare the lodging and the food and all that stuff, its cost is pretty much passed along. So it's a kind of a break-even venture anyway.
Now, before we go and see some of the beautiful area and landscapes and stuff that you have here, can you tell everyone here, during seasons where they don't see the red kettles and things like that, where can they donate to if they were inclined to do that?
You could, every phone book, you could go salvationarmy.org, as you can go there. There's a donation site right there. And then many local branches can accommodate that. Things like that. There's always opportunities to donate. And we're always grateful for that, because much of what you see around here is because of the generosity of so many people. And we're grateful for it. It allows us to do what we do.
Wonderful things
right.
like this.
Right.
So guys, you hear that if you ever feel generous or in the need to do something for someone else, it's not just a giving season during the holidays when you see those red kettles, but you can go online, you can go into your local Salvation Army branch and donate just a little something for areas like this who help children and other people all year round. Guys, so as you can see, there's lots to do here, whether you're in camp or you want to come out for a retreat of your own. Remember, if you would like to donate to Echo Grove Camp, you can go on to salvationarmy.gov. But until next time, I'm Alexis Ware. Echo Grove Camp and Retreat Center has a lot to offer, whether you're going there for camp or just going there on your personal time. If you would like to donate to them, the Salvation Army, or if you would just like to find out more information, log on to salvationarmy.org, or you can go there yourself and talk to some of the counselors there as well as the front office. But going right into our next segment, we're going to head over to Addison Oaks County Park and see what they have for the summer. Take a look. Hello everyone, today we are here at Addison Oaks for their Christmas in July event, just one of the many events they have going on all summer long. We're going to speak to some of the advisors here, some of the directors, and see what all they have in store for us.
Hey, welcome to Addison Oaks Wagon Ride. We got everybody here going through the woods. Having a great time?
Yep, definitely.
All right. Did I get everybody?
Tell us about your campsite here. So obviously you're decorated for Christmas in July. How'd you find out about it?
We came out last year for their Halloween, and they said, well, they also decorate for Christmas in July, and so I had to come for that. We kind of live out in the country, and nobody ever sees us, so we don't really decorate anymore, but when we found out we could decorate for Christmas, well, I'm all for that. It's the best time of the year, right? I mean,
And make sure your decorations get seen.
yeah, and yes, exactly. And when you live in the country, nobody sees them, you know. So we used to live in town, and everybody did it, and it was a lot of fun. And now we've moved out to the country, and nobody does it. So we were happy to hear that some of the parks are getting into Christmas in July. They do a lot of Halloween. All state parks do Halloween, but I thought Christmas in July would be kind of cool. So.
All right, so by now you've seen the inflatables, some of the different activities, including the sheriff horses. We're about to speak to the activity director and find out what all Addison Oaks has to offer. As promised, I'm here with Brad, the activities director. Can you tell us some of the activities all of the activities really that went on today?
Oh, well, today we had, we had Santa. Santa was here, and he gave out his summer collection of candy canes, which were not peppermint, but every other flavor. And he came and met all the kids, made sure all the campers were good little campers over here. And let's see, what else did we do?
And you mentioned, you kept saying campers, so are these kids and other campers, the adult campers, from around the campground, or is it open to anyone to come out, even if they're not camping here?
Well, because of where the recreation pavilion is set, we get mostly people who are camping here, but it is totally open for the public. Anybody can come back here, just past the boathouse, just make your way down the path. And like I said, most of the things that we offer are free, and you know, it's like planning a party every weekend. And we have a corn roast coming up where we offer free corn, and on the cob, potatoes. We have a pie eating contest, we have corn eating contest, watermelon seed spitting, all kinds of things. But if you go online, you'll be able to check out everything that we have during the weekends. Different themed weekends. We have Wet and Wacky, where everything's water. And our other park, our sister park, Groveland Oaks, they basically do the same thing, and that's out near Holly. And but we really love our park here. This is more of a nature setting. We have boat rentals, we have a water slide, a lot of things to do here, bikes that you can rent.
And like you said, this is an every weekend thing. How long does this every weekend stretch to? Is it well within the fall?
Well, we go from Memorial Day to Labor Day every weekend. And then October, we have the Boo Bash, and that's the second and third week of October. And that runs, we have, again, costume contests and the dance. And we have all kinds of really a pumpkin carver that comes out and teaches you how to carve pumpkins, and really elaborate pumpkins, and we do crafts along with that. So we have fun with that as well. And then after that, we also have an equestrian weekend where people can bring their horses and ride. But we don't have really any activities going for that weekend. But all the rest of the weekends we sure do.
It's yours for the making.
It is. It's a party here. Definitely come on out and enjoy the party. It's a beautiful party.
All right, so again, these are every weekend events,
Every
well past the summer and well past when school starts. Tell us again how we can get more information about these.
Well, we are on Facebook, so you can do a search for Addison Oaks, Oakland County Parks, also Groveland Oaks. You could go on Facebook, as well as just do a search for OakGov. Just go with our Oakland County Parks and Recreation, and you'll be able to find us. We're in there. We're totally in there.
All right, guys, so you heard it. If you are at all interested throughout the summer or well after, be sure to log on to that site or maybe even give them a call. Until next time, I'm Alexis Ware. Addison Oaks has a lot in store for the summer. They usually start their events Fridays on throughout the entire weekend. They have new events every week, so be sure to log on to their site or just stop by one of the campgrounds and see what all they have in store for this upcoming summer, the rest of it, and the winter and fall going into that. But that about concludes this episode of Schooling Around. Until next time, I'm Alexis Ware.
We here at OCTV cover the local events and government meetings of Oxford, Addison, and Leonard. We also produce and edit programs for you viewers out there. With the leadership of our station manager, Bill Service, we have been a very successful team, winning awards from the state of Michigan for Best Electronic Media, giving attention to our local veterans. We also won awards for excellence in directing and educational programs. With the help of our great new equipment and our technical directors, we write, produce, and broadcast our local news for you. Without our production manager, Terry Stiles, our channel and station wouldn't be the well-oiled machine it is today. She coordinates the editing assignments and shoot schedule with our editors and camera people. OCTV and its communities make a great team.
Welcome, I'm Elgin Nichols,
And I'm Terry Stiles.
and together we do the weekly news for Oxford Television.
Yep, and we're not the only ones that do that. We do it along with Dave Kenny, who does Auto Talk and Science in the news. We do it with Alexis Ware, who covers our school news, and Cody Wright, who covers our sports. And we can't forget Kyle Snage, who also does our technical end of it. He records it.
There's great information out here on the news,
Yep.
weekly news, so tune in with us. And what dates are we talking about? Times?
We air Monday through Saturday, 12 noon, 6:30 p.m. and 11 p.m. And then on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. and 11 p.m. And we cover everything in your backyard.
We'll be watching for you, so be there.
Bye-bye.